Hello and welcome to Brick Speak. Today, I have decided to make a small video covering the possible questions that can be framed out of what I had covered in the previous episode, that is, episode serial 19. Why did the highest political leadership decide to halt operations in the Kashmir Valley but continued defensive operations in the Jammu division, that is, south of Pir Panjal? Now, what I'm going to cover in next few minutes will be gist of the entire chapter, that is strategic planning at Army headquarters. We are going to discuss a crucial strategic decision that was made during the 1947-48 Jammu and Kashmir conflict after the raiders were driven out from the Jhelum Valley Road beyond Uri. You might wonder, why did India halt operations in the valley? This decision was not random. It was based on a mix of geography, military strategy, logistics, and political considerations. Let's break it down step by step. First, let's talk about the geography. The Kashmir Valley is surrounded by mountains, with the Pir Panjal range acting as a natural barrier between the valley and Jammu. In winter, snowfall in the valley is so heavy that roads and passes like Banihal Pass become impassable. On the other hand, the Jammu region has a lower altitude, meaning it remains accessible throughout the year. This made it easier for Pakistan to send raiders across the border while India had to remain on constant defense. If India had launched a large scale offensive in the valley, it would have faced severe logistical and mobility issues due to the harsh winter. The enemy strategy was to isolate the valley. Let's look at what Pakistan was trying to do. Their main goal was to cut off the Kashmir Valley from India. Till now, the main road into Kashmir was through what was today in Pakistan, coming from Murree to Muzaffarabad, Domail into Srinagar, and also from Sialkot into Jammu. As of now, the valley depended on two major roads after a new state of Pakistan was created. These two roads were Jammu Srinagar Highway, which was nothing more than a dirt road, and Jammu Kotli Punch Road, which was essential for maintaining control in the western Jammu region. If Pakistan captured these roads, Indian forces in the valley would be trapped. No reinforcements, no supplies, no way out. This would have led to the valley's complete isolation and eventual collapse. So, securing these routes became India's top priority. The lower altitude in Jammu division made it easier for Pakistani backed raiders to infiltrate, attack, and retreat before Indian reinforcements could arrive. Unlike the valley, where deep snow would slow enemy advances, in Jammu they had year round operational mobility. While snowfall limited enemy movement in the valley, the situation in Jammu division was completely different. Pakistan backed tribal raiders were attacking towns and villages across the entire border region. Mirpur, Kotli, Naushera, Rajouri, and Punch were all under siege. Unlike the valley, where population centers were sparse, the Jammu division had many densely populated towns and villages. This made it an easy target for raids, massacres, and communal violence. Moreover, if Jammu towns fell, mass killings and refugee movement would create a humanitarian crisis, increasing panic and unrest in other parts of India. Holding Jammu prevented a large communal disaster and maintained Indian control over the key towns. Let's now talk about the Indian troops' strength in late 1947. At this time, India did not have enough troops. Indian Army was involved in restoring peace along the divided border where communal clashes had taken place. Since securing supply lines through Jammu was essential, defensive operations there took priority, and the forces were just sufficient to carry out only this task. There is no doubt that Jammu Srinagar Highway and Jammu Kotli Punch Road were India's lifelines to the valley. Jammu Division also provided a stable logistical base for future operations into Kashmir and Pakistan occupied areas. If India held Naushera, Rajouri, and Punch, it could use these areas as launch pads for spring offensive once the weather improved. There were certain political and international factors also which led to this decision. In late 47, the Indian leadership was still hoping to contain the conflict rather than escalate into an all out war. Hence, defensive operations in Jammu permitted India to secure key areas without appearing overly aggressive. India at this time was also not very keen that there is an early intervention of the UN. A large scale offensive in the valley might have triggered UN intervention sooner, forcing a ceasefire on unfavorable terms. By focusing on defensive actions in Jammu, India could retain diplomatic flexibility. Many regions in Jammu had pro India local militias and fighters who could assist in defense, so India was giving an opportunity to the loyalist forces to come forward and provide their might in throwing the raiders out of the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Had Pakistan succeeded in taking Jammu, they could extend their influence into Punjab or Himachal Pradesh. Therefore, holding Jammu and Naushera was essential to stop further territorial ambitions of Pakistan. Had we lost Jammu, Kangra, Pathankot, or even Amritsar could have come under direct threat of Pakistan Army. A strong defensive position in Jammu prevented a larger Pakistani advance into Indian territory. To conclude, the decision to halt major operations in the valley and continue with defensive operation in the Jammu was based on harsh weather, to put a stop to continuous enemy raids in Jammu division, avoid communal violence. Since both the main roads emanated from Jammu, it was a logistical necessity to hold Jammu. With limited availability of troops, it needed to have a focused defense strategy. Political considerations were in place to avoid an early escalation into full scale war before India is prepared and to prevent further Pakistani expansion into Punjab and Himachal Pradesh. So, by securing Jammu, India ensured it had a strong base for future counteroffensive, ultimately shaping the final outcome of the Kashmir conflict. With this, I come to the end of today's episode. I'll request you to please like, share, and comment. Also, join our Telegram channel. The details are in the description given below. Keep working hard. Thank you and Jai Hind.